native camp teachers? Well, you probably have heard that recently native camp admins have already changed the demo class material from the grammar middle materials to daily news. And you've heard the news, right? Because on the previous video that I've made, we have covered the article about drinking tea and coffee. And for this video, we're going to be talking about the daily news topic: what is White Day celebrated in East Asian countries? So here's the thing, no matter what I do, I really couldn't find the material from the Native Camp portal. So we're just going to be using a recent article that was posted on the internet, but I'm still going to be teaching you how to, go through the lesson flow, how to survive the trap questions, and how to be able to pass your demo class all on your first take. Because, teacher, that is the goal. Because we can really never tell if the admin will be giving you a chance to take or to have a retake, or if it's basically going to be your first and last chance. So you have to treat every demo class as if it's your last chance, and you really want to be able to pass it all on your first take. So if you're interested, please continue watching. And if you want to, know more about, how to get in and be a native camp teacher as quick as possible, all you got to do is send me an email at askteachakaren@gmail.com, and I will be sending tried and tested tips for you to pass. Let's get started. So before we get started, just a friendly reminder, make sure that you've already watched the first installment of this video. Well, it's a demo class material for about drinking coffee and tea. Make sure you've already seen that, because pretty much the class flow is the same. What we're going to be covering on this video would be the daily news article about White Day. And once again, I do not have the exact article because I've already searched every daily news article from the Native Camp portal. I couldn't find it. So if anyone could tell me where to find it, that would be helpful. And so for this video, we're just going to be using a recent article that was posted online about what is White Day celebrated in East Asian countries. So let's get started. I'm going to be sharing my screen. And basically, this is an article that I've found online, and it's about what is White Day, the alter ego of Valentine's Day, celebrated in East Asian countries. It's quite similar to the demo class material that has been used by admins starting August 2022. So let me just give you a glimpse of how to teach daily news. So basically, when you hear the ding dong, when you're waiting for your admin, you won't immediately start your demo class. What's going to happen is they're going to say hello, and they're going to be choosing material for you. So is it the first material about drinking tea or coffee, or is it the second material, which is about uh, what is White Day celebrated in East Asian countries? So let's say they've already chosen that textbook. Make sure that you select the appropriate textbook on this area. And what you have to remember is when you look at the right side, everything that is in red font would be the things that you have to say out loud. Everything in blue font would just be reminders for you, teacher. You don't have to read it. You have to read it silently, but you shouldn't read it aloud. Now, what's important is when you are teaching daily news, you have to read the title and verify if the title and the level 6-8, level 4-5, level 7-9 is the correct level for your student. You have to verify that. Now, you also have to take note of the chat box. There are important things that you must write on the chat box, and all of those are on my class flow template. The class flow template is something that I came up on my own. It's basically the flow of the demo class, which includes everything that you have to say and everything you gotta put on the chat box, everything you gotta take note of, and basically reminders for you to pass your demo class. Make sure you check the description box so that you could copy and actually use my Teacha Karen's class flow template. So once again, this is my template, not native cam. So please use it with caution. Okay. So, um, the usual flow is, first off, you're going to be covering the vocabulary. It's new words that you will be introducing to the student. And I highly recommend that on your demo class, you just have to stick to the script on the right side. And based on the learning kit for the demo class, you have to play both the US, the American pronunciation, and the UK, the British English pronunciation. But you also have to actively listen to the student. They may say that I want to learn the British pronunciation only. So if they say they want to learn British English, you just have to play the UK pronunciation. But again, the SOP is you have to play both US and UK so that the student would have, knowledge on how it is pronounced in the US and how it is pronounced in the UK, British English versus American English. Now, once again, you just have to follow the script. And the thing here is beware of trap questions, regardless of the admin that's going to be assigned to you. May it be the famous admin Francis or whoever it is. Always be prepared for trap questions. What do they usually ask? They ask, what part of speech is the word deserted? Um, so what when they talk about deserted, what part of speech is it? They want to know if it's an adjective, a verb, a noun. What is it? Here's the thing: you are not expected to know all the answers by heart. I highly recommend that you also have other windows open on your Google Chrome, other windows like a Cambridge dictionary, a thesaurus, a Google search engine, so that if you need to find answers and you're like having a mental block or something, you'd be able to find the answers right away. Again and again, you are not expected to know everything they ask you. You just have to know where to find the answers and how to find the answers real quick, because you have to minimize dead air. Dead air would be silence, when you or the student are both not speaking. That's dead air. You got to minimize that to just like about 5 to 10 seconds. You have to talk and tell them what you're doing. Okay, let me just give you examples here. And what you're actually doing is you're searching for the answer on Google. Okay, let me just write the explanation on the chat box. But in reality, you are searching for the answer on Google. So you got to be able to do it real quick. So for this, you have to uh, teach the new words, play the pronunciation, have them listen to the audio, and you have to read the sample sentence once and repeat. Have your student repeat after you once. The coastal resorts are deserted in winter. So maybe the student may ask you a trap question. What's a coastal resort? And you're like, what? I didn't see that coming. So you can Google coastal resort. So it's a seaside resort. So a coastal resort would be any resort that's located near the beach. So don't forget to put that on the chat box. As you can see, I was able to find the answer real quick, and I just, came up with a trap question all by myself. So as you go through the words and phrases, the next part would be comprehension. What you just have to do is you would have to read all the questions. What are some of the traditional jobs? Blah, 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 blah. And once again, we're not talking about the White Day article, but this is the same structure as the article about White Day in East Asian countries. So you just have to read the questions out loud and be prepared for trap questions. Trap questions can be anything under the sun. Parts of speech, how to use a certain word in a sentence. Let's say the question is, what are some traditional jobs that many former tourism workers have returned to? They may ask, what does tourism mean? So you just have to Google the word tourism, or they can ask you, how can you use the word tourism in a sentence? And you're like, what? This person is really asking trap questions. So you just have to be ready, have Google on standby, Cambridge Dictionary, and a thesaurus. Now, the next step would be to listen to an article. Test. Okay. All right, everyone. The baby has awakened. I hope you can hear me. Okay. So let's just continue. I was saying that on the next part, you have to listen to the article. So when listening to the article, you just have to simply play or hit the play button. And just in case, there's no audio, you can't hear the audio, don't panic. Verify with your student. Let's say your student's name is Francis. Francis, can you hear the audio? And then Francis says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear it. Be prepared to read the article aloud. So you got to practice your reading skills as well. So let's say this is the article. You should have practiced how to read this article aloud, right, Mateo? So read the article aloud. And when it comes to the trap questions, make sure you familiarize yourself with all of the words from the article because they can ask you anything about the article. Let's say this is the actual article, right? They may ask you, what is what's the meaning of the word alter ego? And you're like, oh, what? So make sure you Google it and you know how to use it in a sentence. You also have to anticipate. When we say anticipate, you have to, predict what possible trap questions they're going to be asking you. So let's say for this article, a possible trap question is, what is Valentine's Day? I'm not familiar with Valentine's Day. We don't have Valentine's here in Japan. Or why is Valentine's Day February 14? And you're like, what? They're even asking that kind of question. So again, use Google. So pretty much they're going to ask you random questions about the article, and you just have to be prepared for all sorts of trap questions. Now, for the next part, don't expect that you would have to go through the daily news topic for like 25 minutes because the admin's going to ask you to jump from one part to the next, and you're not expected to cover everything. Okay. So, next part would be to answer the questions. Don't ever forget to write the student's answer on the chat box. Okay. You have to type their answer on the chat box so that if there are any corrections in terms of grammar, word usage, or vocabulary, you'd be able to give your feedback right away and put your feedback on the chat box as well. I usually put the format you said whatever their answer is, and then the correction would be labeled as please say blah 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 blah, which would be the correct sentence form. Now after that part, the student would have to read the article out loud from the term itself. It's the student's turn rather to read. You have to listen closely for any mispronounced words and make sure you have the student repeat the mispronounced words twice. So let's say they have mispronounced the word let me try to look for a difficult word here. Let's say Asian, right? Asia or Asian, Asian rather. They said ASEAN or Asian. So if you are, giving the correction Asian, then make sure you have them repeat the word twice. Now, if you're not sure how to say the word Asian, let's say I have Google Translate here. What I'm gonna do is I'll just type in the word Asian and double check if the pronunciation of Asian is indeed Asian or is it something else. Okay, it's Asian. Asian. You have to have them repeat the word twice. Now, for the last part, we have discussion. You have to read the question, follow the script, write the student's answer on the chat box, and provide the necessary correction. Now, the last part would be you reviewing everything that they've learned. Make sure to cover 3 new words and or phrases in the lesson, 3 difficult to pronounce words or mispronounced words. It could be their mispronounced words. And they would have to repeat after you 3 times. So let's say the mispronounced word would be exotic. So let's double check the pronunciation of the word exotic because here in the Philippines, we would say this as exotic. Exotic. Yeah. So it's exotic if you are pronouncing it correctly. Exotic. So you have to have the student repeat it thrice. Exotic, 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 exotic. Okay. So pretty much that's it. I highly recommend that you refer to my class flow template. There you have it, teachers. Thank you so much for watching and for tolerating this little guy who keeps on crying whenever I'm recording a video. You say hello to your fans, Mateo. Say hello, I am 5 months old today. Well, not really today, but a few days ago. Teachers. I hope that the two videos that I've created about the newest and latest demo class materials here in Native Camp have helped you, be ready physically, emotionally, and mentally to pass all on your first take. The thing is, here in Native Camp, it's quite challenging to pass on your first take because it's pass or fail. Native Camp admins usually look for perfection because we don't have trainers in native camp. Once you get in, everything is all about studying on your own, self study basically. You got to figure things out on your own. You got to address issues by yourself and know where to find help. So if you can't, follow the basic SOP and do what you're supposed to do, then you're not fit to be a native camp teacher. That explains why admins are really strict when it comes to, passing aspiring applicants. So once again, if you want to pass your native camp application, send an email to askteachakaren@gmail.com. I'll send you everything you need to pass. And please stay tuned for more videos. Again, I'll do my best to post more useful content for all ESL teachers out there. I'll see you next time. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, Teacha Karen. And feel free to comment. I will respond to all of your comments, I promise. And please stay tuned. Stay tuned to what? I'm sorry. I'm listening if my baby's crying. Okay, no baby is crying. Please stay tuned for more video uploads. Be a blessing to the people around you. Goodbye.